Greetings everyone, and today I am going to be constructing a small gunship. The armaments I want to include are 250mm rail-assisted shells, maybe not the rail-assisted, we'll see how much space we have on it, and hopefully 4 large missiles or some other form of missiles. Very simple, very compact hopefully, and just overall nice little gunboat. I will be doing this a little bit differently, as I'm not going to be doing a time lapse. You'll just have to see how I format it. I don't really know how to explain it, so we're going to get rid of this lovely fortress. And I'll be back when I have like a basic whole outline. Stare into his unforgiving eyes. He will haunt you in your dreams. Anyway, with that silliness over, all I've done is I've just added a little bit of decoration, not much, added a lovely red light. I've also decided to not have the glass tinted like it originally was, just a minor thing there, but oh wait, I see what I did. But yeah, I'm about to design the AI. I've decided to place it near the rear of the craft. I've decided to place it around here. However, now that I think about it, I think that I need to make the craft a little bit taller. So yeah, I'll actually be back when I've designed the AI, or start designing the AI. So I just heightened the craft a little bit, and I'm about to design the AI, and I'm actually really liking how the front's coming together. So as for the back though, I'm still undecided, but I do know on the top I want missiles, some heli blades, I think they were called, and yeah, I also have some side heli blades, and I might have a couple missiles on the side, I'm not quite sure, but this craft is just gonna focus on advanced cannons and missiles. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with how the front is. The rest of it's still work in progress, obviously, but just about to place the AI. And as I said, I think I want it near the rear, but I usually have the engines near the rear of the craft, so I don't want it to take up too much space. So I'm thinking right here, because I want to give plenty of room to the advanced cannons, which are probably going to be the main cannon. Thankfully though, the missiles are mostly going to be mounted on the outside of the craft, so we don't really have to worry about that. That's why I love missiles. They're so compact. While they're expensive and easily countered, they're just definitely the most compact weapon, which makes it really good for a smaller craft. So yeah, I was about to place a chair in the AI core. Would actually be the most protected area, but I prefer having an open cockpit. So, to be honest, I probably won't put a target prioritization card because I don't think it's going to be needed. This craft can kind of target whatever. Actually, I think it would be better to have it target some more higher volume targets, because it probably won't do that well against smaller enemies. Yeah, I'm gonna put a just forgot what it's called, and I've been playing this game for only about 1,000 hours now, so I think I want it to target more. Yeah, I think I wanted to target the more armored opponents, which are generally slower. So try to engage the more armored opponents. Why won't this change? Oh, 10's the max. So yeah, I think I will have it target higher volume objects. This way it doesn't waste its time trying to kill things like the flying squirrel and such. Now I will just give a quick disclaimer. I am on automatic detection. And the main reason is, I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. But main reason is I just generally save detection systems last because it's just it lets you test weapon systems without having to make a quick detection system. So the AI is down. I will just be adding the ammo, and I'll probably just don't worry about what just happened. I didn't break anything. So yeah, I'll be back and I'll be back. But I've decided I will not be using rail assisted shells. The main reason is that it required me to put a whole new energy generation system, and it would add cost, and it would just add all this extra space. So regular, just more rapid fire advanced cannons I think would be maybe not the smarter choice, but it's just gonna make this thing easier, less complex too. Not only that, that does mean we either could spend more on the advanced cannon or have more missiles. Both work. Right now I'm thinking I might just have larger advanced cannon, but I'm just about to put the basic propulsion system in. It's just gonna be a basic injector fuel engine. I know injectors aren't the most efficient, but I haven't managed to develop a more efficient fuel engine. Now, will this be enough space? Because we want just some crankshafts, cylinders right here, and then some injectors. I'm trying to hold in a sneeze right now. Yeah, 9,000 engine power. That is more than enough. And why can I not place this fuel box? There we go. I know it's kind of dangerous to have your fuel and your engine in the same place, but if you get your engine knocked out, your fuel's not going to be very useful either. But it does mean that the fuel explodes, the engine's also gone. But at this point, if they got to the engine, it probably won't matter much. Not the best logic, but I think it kind of makes sense. And it means I don't need an additional like storage area for it, and yeah, that's enough fuel. So yeah, I'll be back once I armor this up and start working on the advanced cannons. So quick little update, I've added the 2 main Hesh guns, because they're going to be Hesh guns likely. I've also just armored up the front a little bit, because considering this is where I think most of this thing's firepower is going to come from, I certainly don't want it getting disabled by like another weapon obviously, but yes, so I'll just be armoring it up a little bit around here. Well, of course I add the armor a little bit later, but just going into the weapon designing. Now honestly, I'm not too good at designing spinal weapons. My only problem is these autoloaders are going to be right next to the ammo storage, which obviously isn't a good thing because gun blows up. Was is heavy armor, there is a potential of the ammo storage being blown up, so I may have another layer of heavy armor there. Yeah, actually that's I think what I want to do. I think I'll actually have it sloped just because they're a little bit cheaper, and I think it should still contain the blast damage. Actually, I don't want it all the way, I just want it protecting the ammo. But 250mm, and I should probably place the actual ammo controller. Yeah. Did not mean to do that, but I think I'm gonna have them be 10. But I do want them to only be 2-meter autoloaders. This could be a fairly basic Hesh weapon because I found 250mm Hesh is a little bit ridiculous. Clip length required probably put an extra 0. 3 meters, nah. Gonna have to go with slightly smaller shells, but That gives us 2. Could I add another warhead? Yes, I could. So these shells I have used before, and they're pretty effective. At least all the times I've used them. Did not mean to do that. Yes, I do realize that if the ammo storage goes up, then we lose the ammo customizer, but at the same time, if the ammo storage goes up, we won't really be able to fire these. Actually, I just realized we still might be able to. Yeah, I'm gonna move that. Yeah, I'm not exactly making the most smart decisions, as I still don't use ammo ejectors. Mainly because I just like main guns exploding, but I may have to use them this time because, well, having the whole left side of the ship explode isn't exactly optimal. So yeah, I might use ammo ejectors for this build. So I'll just be back in a little bit. So this is the first weapon test. I unfortunately cannot leave this mode. Just to make sure everything's working. They're obviously not finished yet, but I forgot to put a local weapon controller. That's my fault. And I just realized I designed these really inconveniently, so we'll have to delete an ammo intake. Alright, that should be good, and this guy does not have a ammo intake. Input. There we go, and now let's try that. Are like, yes. Now obviously this is not the finished fire rate or anything, just a quick simple test. Seem to be working. Damage done hasn't been too tremendous, but that's to be expected. I just really hope the missiles just don't completely overpower. Now obviously this is not the best spinal weapon. I'm way better building turrets, if anything else. Although the cooling limit could be significantly higher. Yeah, I'll see you guys back in a little bit once I figure out how I'm gonna do all of this. This is the second weapon test. Still not quite finished, but about double the fire rate. To be honest, I don't feel these guns are really doing enough. They cost quite a bit of money, and they just don't seem to be doing that much damage. Hopefully I can still get a bit more firepower out of them. Other than that, yeah, it's looking pretty good. But as I said, these guns feel just a little bit underwhelming compared to what I'd like them to be. Now, of course, this is like practically archaic gun setup. But to be honest, as I said, I'm not very good at building spinal guns. It's definitely not one of my strong points. I would like to get 100 RPM on these guns, but I just don't think that's happening. I would say maybe I can get them to 80. And I will probably have to add another layer of armor because these guns right now are ridiculously vulnerable to attacks from the sides. But other than that, everything is going well. So the auto loaders have a limit of, yeah, as I said, still needs a lot of work. But I will see you guys in a bit, hopefully with the final weapons test. The third test of the guns. Yep, I think I'm happy with that fire rate. So this will be the finished version of the guns. Of course, I still have to armor them up, and everything. So I'm just gonna add another layer of armor to the craft, and then I will start installing either the propulsion or the missile systems next. Probably the propulsion. Maybe the missiles. I don't know. I'll see you guys a little bit later. So I've just added some basic missile systems. They're not all that powerful. They're frag EMP. But they're missiles. So I just want to see the impact of them. Now they only have one signal processor, so they will be easily distracted, but yeah, they just give it a small bit more. The reason they don't have any large missiles is because they were simply too expensive. Honestly, these just really, I think I'm actually going to change them a little bit. I feel like they're very underwhelming for their cost. So I'm going to remove 2 of the fuel tanks. This will make them closer range, but a little bit more powerful. The range bracket, I'd imagine they'll only be able to shoot maybe at a maximum of like 1,600. I did reduce the frag cone slightly, so they're focused more on doing internal damage. Yep, but that's the basic missile system. So I'm soon gonna add the Daddy blades and all of the components of repulsion, and then we'll basically be done with this at that point. Also forgot to, so far it's actually not too bad. For its cost, it should be able to dodge things like cram cannons, while we'll easily get taken down to probably a shot or two. Well, a good shot from a cram cannon or just advanced cannons will take it down, not too much difficulty. It's mainly meant to just support the other combatants and just maybe drawing a little bit of fire and helping just provide some fire support. That's all it's really there for. Basically nothing else. So yeah, I will be back once I have finished the Daddy blade, or at least the main Daddy blade, and then after that I'll probably add some side Daddy blades, and I think that will be it. Fairly basic craft. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. I've started to work on the other Daddy blades, and this is way too small, but basically I've added one of them main heli blades, which is a I'm not sure if it's accurate, but it has 3 different ones, and it has 19,000. I don't think it's quite enough to propel the ship. The craft by its own. But I will be adding an extra probably 4 heli blades on the sides. I also forgot to add radiators, so yeah. So once again, I'll see you guys in a little bit once I hopefully finish the main propulsion and figure out how to deal with the cooling system. Yep, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Oh, just a quick little thing. I've decided to call this the Minotaur. And actually, I need to, I haven't put it in a category yet because I don't have it at adequate category, but Minotaur Gunship. Called it the Minotaur because it's inspired from the Hydra, which is named from, I made a folder. Well, mainly because it is sort of inspired from the Hydra, which is also a Greek mythological monster or creature. But so I've just decided to call this the Minotaur because, well, that's another Greek name, Greek monster, not Greek name. So yeah, once again, see you guys in a little bit. Oh, and obviously this won't be the. I'll obviously put a little bit of protection around these Daddy blades, but I have to kind of redesign this whole section here to fit them. once again, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I've just installed some very basic propulsion systems. Unfortunately, the craft was simply too heavy to be used to only be propelled by Daddy blades, so I did have to add 2 additional thrusters on the bottom. But other than that, it's nearly done. Of course, the back is still work in progress, but mostly done. I'm just going to give you a quick weapons test. It's the Harlech, which is a very tanky craft. So we have our main guns opening up and cruise missiles launched. As you can see, the Harlech is intercepting some of my shells, that is, but missiles landed do actually not too bad amount of damage. Our craft is doing unknown. Unfortunately, I haven't actually installed the forward and back propulsion systems. Why is your minimum altitude so low? Yeah, it's definitely not done, but it is getting close to it. So yeah, I'll figure out what to do with the back section, and then after that, we're actually done. It's been a bit of a long recording session. It's like nearly 12 at this point, but I'm actually quite proud of this craft, especially how the fronts turn out. I really like the look on the front. Also, just a quick note, hold on, let me just join the Legion, comrade. So, right now I'm very tired, but I have finished this thing. I haven't finished it. Oopsies. So, I forgot to armor up the heli blade, but I did have these lovely side decorations, and I don't know what you're talking about. I clearly am not hanging mainframes off of my lovely ship here, collecting the brains of our enemies. I can't. Lovely, it's blocking my view. See? They're definitely not brains. Definitely not brains in there. Have I truly gone mad? Quite possibly. But I will finally finish this thing up, and we will see. And then we'll do a final combat test. And the problem is I don't know how to really armor this up without making it look kinda like weird. To be honest, I may just reduce the size of the heli blade so that way it can armor it up more. Because at this point, we're mainly relying on the thrusters below. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to remove a bit of the heli blade. But yeah, I'll see you guys a little bit later, and hopefully, it should be a combat test. So, after a bit of testing, well, not testing, but I've actually decided to remove the heli blade, the main one. The main reason is I actually needed it, but the main reason is this craft is simply too heavy for heli blades to really keep up. The heli blade was simply too large, and just making it look aesthetically pleasing would have been very difficult. So I've decided I will be making this craft use only jets, which is a little bit disappointing considering how Daddy blades, at least in my experience, are far more effective. But they should, yet that keeps the craft from flying. Well, this will give it quite a bit less redundancy. It's just, it would have been practically impossible to make aesthetically pleasing. We have nearly out of engine power. But thankfully, this thing is finally done. Well, I could, of course, add a little bit decoration on the top. I think it looks fine the way it is. However, I will probably see to add, or probably try to add something anyway, just to see if I can make it a little bit better. yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit when I'm finally done with this. So I've come to another kind of weird decision, as my keyboard probably destroys your ears if it's very loud. I've decided I'm just going to leave the top completely flat. The main reason is not only does it look a little bit better, it's just, this craft is already way larger than I wanted it to be. So I think leaving it flat is just the best alternative. Well, it does look a little bit weird. I think it should be fine. So overall, let us get it. Sorry. So overall, this thing is going to rely heavily on other ships to basically protect it. There's no way this thing is going to be able to win on its own. But what it will do is in a fight, it will provide quite a bit of fire support. That reminds me, one thing I do want to do is I want to add reverse thrusters. The problem is I have no idea where I want to put the reverse thrusters. I hate doing this because it's going to make it look worse, but I don't know a better area. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I thought it was gonna look way worse, but oh yes, forgot about that. So yes, we can reverse, please. So at this point, we are basically done. We have everything. Yeah. Yep. So we now have our reverse thrusters, so hopefully we'll just kind of stay away, because I really don't want this thing trying to engage the more like attack ones. So will it reverse? It's trying to turn right now, but really slowly. What is this thing doing? Ah, yep. Getting error there. Don't know why it's not turning to face the enemy. A little bit disappointed, but it's slowly reversing. Okay, its main guns are online. After this, I do have to do a little bit more armoring up, but then, yeah, it's done. I haven't put any recoil absorbers, and the idea is that hopefully the recoil will help it keep back from battle. Yeah, so it's doing a pretty decent job at killing this lovely Harlech here, which is actually kind of tanky ship. Not the most tanky, but so it sits back at a decent range and just fires away. The problem is sitting so still like this, cram cannons will. Okay, I'm actually gonna make the distance 2,000. This thing needs to be a long-range vessel. Sorry for the loud noises. So I've decided to place that 2,000 meters back. This way the cram cannons will hopefully be way less accurate. Missiles can still reach the target. Okay, sitting about the range it needs to be, as it just lobs shells. Okay, don't know why it started to turn like this. I probably need to make the yaw a little bit less. So I think I'm gonna put it to 0.7. There we go. go. It's a little bit more stable now. Actually, that little tilt valve will prevent a little second of firing. It should disrupt cram cannons. I still don't like it. It needs to stay stable. Missiles are hitting the target. Sorry, this battle doesn't have the best cameramanship. I'm trying to make sure this thing does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, so far this thing has actually not been doing as bad as I thought it would be. However, it is still doing that random turn. Yeah, no, that actually wasn't too bad. Yeah, no, so all I have to do now is do a little bit of armoring up, and then we will do our first true combat test. Honestly, I'm gonna do it against something smaller. I don't know though, I think I might want to have it at a longer range. Problem is though, I need faster shells. But yeah, like I said, the idea of this is not really meant, it's more of a glass cannon, meant to provide fire support, not really endure much on its own. Actually, I already have it. Yeah, actually, we don't have a terrible amount of armor. I mean, we have a decent amount of armor. Namely due to the advanced cannons and stuff. Yeah, no, I think we're actually as well armored up as we can really get. We have... Yep. We'll give it a little bit of materials. But yeah, other than that, I think we're actually done here. So I think its first test should be... This thing might actually counter the anvil, because I don't think its cram... Excuse me. I don't think its main cram cannons would do that much. But we will test against a Harlech, since that's what we've been testing against for most of the time. Right, so it should dodge that initial cram cannon volley. Yep, like a pro. And then those missiles are just gonna drain the lambs, not do any real damage. Wow, those frag missiles did next to nothing, but it is going about 2,000 meters away, and now it should be engaging. Right, its main guns are online. It's trying to go. What are you? Oh, it's trying to close the distance a little bit. Should start reversing pretty soon. Would make those reverse thrusters more powerful, but we just don't have the engine power for it. One cram cannon shot. No damage done, thankfully. Yeah, as I said, it's a glass cannon. But still flying, surprisingly. That is actually really impressive. Well, that was easy. Rematch. Those must be APHE crams, because I don't see how they could take out this thing in just one good shot. I know it's frail, but it's that frail. Clearly need to test against something a little bit smaller. Actually, I just realized one of the Onyx Watch thruster craft. I think the readout is of a similar cost, so I need to armor up the front gun a little bit more. Alright, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Added a lot more heavy armor to the front of the vehicle. My hope is that it should be able to resist some of those cram cannon shots a little bit better. But this does mean it's a little bit more unstable and heavier, and of course more expensive. This thing's, wow, control. 83 meters a second. That is way faster than I thought it would be. I'm not sure if I want to test against the Erie because that thing would just, I feel like it would annihilate it. Okay, the Rook, yeah, I'll try it out. The thing about the Redoubt is it's just, it keeps on trying to ram me when it's not a ramming me. I forgot I had that rotating cram cannon. Yeah, that hurt. Yep, killed that thing way too easily. Let's try that again. Oh, did not mean to select that. Taking those cram cannon shots. EMP missiles hitting it, clearly disabling something critical. It's already beginning to fall. Okay, I don't know what section I armored up, but it is so much tankier. It doesn't quite fit in the lore because, well, in the lore, heavy armor is kind of a rare, and then the whole front of this vehicle is painted with it, but honestly. Okay, we are going down. Why are we going down? Oh, took out the thrusters. How did you even take out the thrusters? They're on the bottom of the craft. Well, we still won. So just one more test. Let's see if these improvements we can actually beat the Harlech. Should begin reversing. Hopefully should dodge that first cram cannon volley. Yep, it's already starting to do quite a bit of damage to the Harlech. Missiles hitting. Not doing too much, but... well, actually, the missiles took down a barrel. Cram cannon missed. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to concentrate here. Missiles hitting it, doing quite well. Really trying to destroy this cram cannon for some reason. Also, I've never seen mortars on the Harlech open fire. Probably just haven't been paying attention, but... I'm actually quite proud of this thing. It has good firepower. Now that with the new upgrades, it's actually surprisingly tanky since it only aims at the front where its armor is heaviest. Cram cannon. That missed. Honestly, the only thing I'm disappointed is in the missiles. The missiles just practically do nothing. Which is kind of the opposite. I thought the missiles were going to do a lot, but... I'm still gonna keep them, but they just don't do as much as I hoped. Has the Harlech even hit a single cram cannon shot? I don't think it has. Also, good job to the Harlech. Its LAM system is actually still operational. To be honest, we are kind of countering though. We're at a long range. We keep rocking its cram cannons to hit. Missed those last few shots. Yeah, well, at this point, I think it's fair to say we've won. So overall, I'm actually quite impressed with this. It's only 135,000, as you can see, but the Harlech, it could beat the Harlech, which is over twice of it, which is over twice the cost. Well, I don't see this thing being particularly useful in any other situation other than the Onyx Watch. I'm actually really happy with it. I'm actually quite impressed with how it looks, except the front. It looks a little weird. But yeah, I actually really like this thing. It's kind of simple, it's cheap. In fact, very cheap. It has quite a bit of firepower, and it has sacrificial mainframes. Who doesn't love those? So, let me get more central view. So, I will see you in the next video. Hopefully this summer we will get to start our own leader campaign, and this will definitely be a part of it. Hope you've enjoyed as much as I have. I'm very tired now. Hope you all get a good amount of rest, except for most of you this will be in the morning. Well then, hopefully I will get a good rest. I will see you in the next video, and forget, if you like the video, then please press the like button. If you want to, subscribe, or maybe just leave a comment down below. I'm very welcome to building suggestions for what to build next. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, and goodbye, finally.